A statement that my cousin always told me is to always listen to your heart instead of your mind, because your mind will always tell you to do messed up things. So, with that being said, I will use that to define depression in my own words. So, in my own words, depression is a war between your heart and your mind. As you can see from the title, I just recently overcame a stage of depression. And the way that I felt during those few weeks that I went through it was that I was always crying. Like nothing had to happen. It's just a random thought come across my mind and I was breaking down, crying, breaking down, begging God to help me to take the pain away, to just overall help me come out of the situation. And that's not the first time that I went through depression. That's why I know exactly what it is. I know exactly what it feels like, because I've had my feelings hurt. I've been mad. I've been angry. I've been all of these things, but nothing feels like depression, what I felt like in those few weeks. But I could literally feel the pain in my heart, and it's like I was losing my mind, like I was going crazy, because I couldn't think of anything positive. I couldn't motivate my own self. Anything that I read, they would always have these motivational memes floating around on social media. And normally those could help me overcome, anything I felt in the moment. Gospel music I listened to that would help me overcome things that was going on. And with using all of those resources, none of it helped. None of it did anything for me. But I ended up going to someone for prayer, and that is really what got me on the path of recovering and feeling better. So the reason why I feel like I went through this stage of depression is because a certain situation that I had been dealing with, I won't give too much information on what it was, but a certain situation that I had been dealing with, it left me so angry that I wanted revenge so bad, but I kept telling myself that it wasn't worth it. I kept just hearing a voice in the back of my head just telling me, no, that's not the answer. That's not right. That's not the way to handle it. You know better. You know what to do. You know how to overcome and to win this whole situation. But my mind got to a point of where I was like, no, nothing is going to stop me this time. I have to get revenge. I have to get my payback. I have to do it. But all in all, it wasn't worth it. It was never worth it. But it took a lot for me to really instill that or drill that in my own head that it wasn't worth it. And that prayer that I received from this lady that I know, it helped me. And ever since that day, it's like I've been building myself back up. I've been, trying to redo everything in order to get back to where I was, because all year I had been happy. Like I had been at peace. I had been, not stressing, none of that. But all of a sudden, just that one situation took me right back down, and it took me down lower than I had been in a long time. I'll talk a little about how I was brought up and the type of person that I became and how I became that person and why I am the person I am today. So when I was a kid, I was the youngest. My mother had 3 daughters, and I have an older brother, but he was on my dad's side. He never lived with us. But I grew up with 2 older sisters, and both of my older sisters, they were bullies. Just to say it, they were bullies. They bullied me all the time. My oldest sister, she was the type of bully who, she was just mean. Not as far as when I was a kid, when my mom was still alive. She was just the type, don't talk to her, don't bother her. I never even knew my sister until we were grown. I knew who she was. We lived together, knew certain things about her, but I had never sat down and held a conversation with her. We never played together, nothing that I can remember. But she was just overall mean. And my second oldest sister, now she was the bully. I could be doing something as simple as sitting on the floor playing with my toys, and she would come up and just kick me. And I would laugh it off, why you do that? And then she's just mad and coming up and pushing on me and all that stuff. And I'm just laughing. And my dad would get mad because he saw, he knew better than I did. He was telling me they bullying you. Like, you don't let nobody treat you like that. You don't let people do that to you. If somebody hits you, you hit them back. And I would just be like, Dad, they just playing. Like, she just playing. Like, that's how she played. My sister loved me. Like, there's nothing. She didn't hurt me. Even if I was bleeding, I'm like, it didn't hurt me. Like, my sister loved me. She's not trying to bully me. She's not trying to hurt me. But my dad would always get mad because, like I said, he knew better than I did that I was being bullied. But those small situations are what made me who I am today. Like, and I mean that in like a negative way, in a bad way, because I let people get to me so easily because, for one, my dad's words, like, don't let people treat you this way, you handle people. And for two, the fact that I believe that my sister loved me, even though, she was still doing things to hurt me. And I didn't realize that she was hurting me because my feelings would be hurt or I would be physically hurt. And I didn't take it as, like she meant to hurt me. It's like we were just playing. She didn't mean anything by it. But both of those things kind of destroyed me because at this point in my life, I'm always battling those two things. Like, my heart telling me, oh, they didn't mean it that way. They just, they just playing, or they going through something right now, so they're hurt. They don't know how to deal with their pain, so they didn't mean to hurt me. Or my mind, which is my dad talking to me, like, no, you don't let people treat you like that. You don't let people get over on you. And that is why I always end up in situations where 1 minute it's like I'm ready to fight, like I'm ready to hurt somebody, and then it's like, no, it's not worth it. That's not what it is. And even now, I still don't know how to handle certain people, how to handle people who I think love me or who I think I love. I still don't know how to handle people because of those things, because of how I was brought up. And it's like, it damages me because it is the exact reason why I go through, or I went through, that stage of depression. And like I said, that's not the first time I've been depressed. It's been years since I had been depressed, but when I experienced it it's been about 3 weeks ago that I overcame it. But when I was going through it for that month or two, it like brought back so many memories of how I felt when I was a kid. And I know I talked about it in my book. I know I've mentioned it in my other videos, but that's something that's very important to me. That everything that I experienced as a kid and everything that I experienced as a young adult, even now that I'm getting older, everything that I experienced, it matters to me. And the worst thing about a lot of people around me is that they take it as if it doesn't matter. Like, they look at me and they feel like you're just making excuses. And I know I've said that before. People do view me as making excuses, or everything that I go through, like, oh, you said it before. It's like a broken record. You keep saying the same thing, but people really don't understand the fact that I have been damaged. I have been damaged for a long time. But that is where my strength comes in, because I don't let it take over me. You may hear me talk about a situation 1,000 times. No matter how much I have to talk about a situation, vent about it, write about it, whatever, I would do whatever it takes to get me out of that situation. And I hate for people to take that as I'm being weak, like I'm just letting it take over me, take control of me, because we all handle situations differently. We all handle, pain differently. And I'm just one of the people who like to talk about it. And I'll talk about it until I'm blue in the face, if that's what makes me feel better. But also, I know that I need to learn how to handle people around me, because I do allow people to still bully me, and I get up like I'm just dust myself off and keep going like they didn't do anything to me. But in reality, they did, and it hit me the most when other people come and say, why did you let them do that? Why did you let this person talk to you like that? Or things like that. And that's what made me talk about how things were when I was growing up with my sisters, because that's exactly how I handled them. I looked at both of my sisters like, I know my sisters love me, because even when she would bully me, she would always take care of me. She would always come back and do something nice for me or something. And with my oldest sister, she anytime she would say hey to me, it would make me happy. Like, oh, my sister's speaking. Like, that's how bad it was in my household when I grew up. And also, another thing that damaged me was my mom, or another person was my mom, and the way that she treated me when I was growing up. And I know this is a soft spot for my family because, you know, none of us play about my mom because she was like the heart of the family. But I can be honest about my own experience with my own mom. And my mom, of course, you know your mom loves you, and everybody want to know that their mom loves them, and you know that's what we say. We know that our parents love us. But with my mom, she was kind of, you can't call it tough love because she didn't like beat me to try to make me stronger, to make me tougher. My mom never told me she loved me. My mom never hugged me. My mom never, you know, just physically showed me anything to let me know that she loved me. I mean, of course she provided and she took care of me and did everything that she was supposed to do as a mother. But as far as something that would help me when I grew up, something that would help me now in life to not allow other people to bully me or to let those people run over me, and I just, you know, just brush it off like, you know, some people just show love that way. Like, you know, it's never okay for people to be like that to you. It's never okay for you to be hurting inside, but you're still trying to make yourself believe that certain people just show love certain ways. When in reality, like, look at me. I show love in a sincere and genuine way. Why can't people give me the same love in return? So now it's like I'm just now entering the stage of my life where I'm learning what is okay and what is not okay. And of course, it's always been in the back of my mind what's okay and what's not okay, but I always thought I had it figured out. But it always, every time I go through something else, I learn something else. Every time I go through the same thing again, I learn something else. Every time, every situation, all of the circumstances it always teach me something new each time. And this time I just learned that my battle between my heart and my mind is what's making me depressed. That is what's forcing me into depression. And I know I pause a lot and I drift off a lot because I don't write things down. I just get in front of the camera and I talk. So overall, I wasn't given the proper type of love as a child, and it's hurting me now as an adult. And like I said, when I went through the depression just a few weeks ago, it taught me all over again that my mind and my heart is kind of battling with each other. Like, I'm trying to do the right thing, but I'm also trying not to let people bully me or get over on me. And that's my problem today. And I can also bring my dad into this because my dad was always the loving type. My dad always told me he loved me. He always showed me that he loved me. Hugged me, kissed me, all that. He always showed me that he loved me. But my dad was also kind of absent. Like, he lived with me, everything. Like, we always lived together. My dad was always there. But my dad never sat me down and, like, drilled in me how to not let people treat me, or when something is wrong, or, you know, how to handle life, how to manage money, just all that. Because my mom passed away when I was 14. So, of course, she didn't get the chance to teach me anything if she wanted to. So it was all up to my dad. And it's like my dad he was always the one who would just be like, okay. And that was always his response for everything. He never sat down and talked to me and helped me accomplish or overcome a lot of things. I was always left out by myself to learn things. I don't know how to handle people. I don't know how to put my foot down and demand my respect. Even when I think I'm doing it, I'm like really making a fool out of myself when I'm out here trying to play tough, trying to put my foot down, trying to argue with people, trying to make demands and all that when I know somebody's treating me wrong. But really, I'm only making a fool out of myself because it's going in one ear and out the other. Like, most of these people, we know they don't care. They do not care. It's me doing all the caring. And that's what keeps me falling back into depression. That's what keeps me failing at a lot of things in life, because I put more focus into the people around me than the person in me. I put more focus into wanting to prove a point to the people who I think I love. Like, I'm trying to prove to them, like, I love y'all. Like, I think y'all love me too. And that messed me up every time. And that's why I always end up falling into depression. But like I said, when I went to this lady and I had her to pray for me, that is what brought me out of it. And yesterday I caught myself like trying to fall back into depression, but I went and I did what I do. Like, I have my own personal things that I do to help myself come out of a lot of things. And I did that, and I just decided to make a video to vent about it, because I mean, I know that the people that I do like to talk to, they have their own lives. They do their own thing, and I can't always turn to them. And I also have to learn how to handle myself rather than depend on other people to help me. Because when you depend on other people to help you, when they let you down, then, I mean, you're just there. You're just down. So you got to learn how, I have to learn how to build myself up and to be there for myself rather than depending on other people. And that's, I mean, I know I've been babbling, but basically I just like to vent. I just like to talk, and you never know who needs to listen, who needs to hear the words that I have to say, who it can help, whoever may get a laugh out of my pain or whatever I like to talk about. You never know who it may help, who may be going through the same thing. And it's like, it's my prerogative to speak on it. It's my prerogative to do whatever it takes for me to feel better. And that brings me to another topic. I won't speak much longer, but that takes me to another topic about suicide. And that is, like, suicide is a very serious thing. Just like depression. Depression is real. I hear people talking down on people who commit suicide. But you never know what people deal with behind closed doors. You never know when a person has had it, when they have given up on everything. They're tired, so they give up, they quit. And me, my giving up, like, I've had suicidal thoughts, I've had those thoughts, but I never did it because I have too much to live for. And now I know that my family would go crazy if I was to do something to myself, and I definitely wouldn't leave my baby, definitely. And I pray that God never takes me away from him, and I pray that God never takes me away from me. But suicide is a very deep thing, and I apologize to anybody who ever had to go as far as committing suicide, because they couldn't escape. They didn't have anybody to talk to. They just gave up. And my heart goes out to those people, because I get it. I get it. Just like there was a story about a girl who they say she put her kids in the car and she attempted to commit suicide, kill her and her kids. And it's like, I don't think that it's okay. Never. I never think that it's okay. I never said it was okay, but I get it. I get it. I get how serious it is. I get how real it is, because once again, I've been through it, and I know that it's been a few times this year that I've been probably hurting, but I overcame it. But I hadn't been as hurt as I was just a little while ago. And I wanted to make the video while I was feeling that way, but I never got around to it. But now, I mean, I can talk about it now. But I'm glad that I'm better. I'm glad that I overcame it. And I pray that everything that I've been praying for comes for me. I pray that everything is worked out. Ask for it, speak it into existence, and it shall be so. One last thing that I forgot to add is I'm known in my family as the peacemaker. Like, that's something my cousin always calls me, because anytime everybody's arguing, everybody's into it, I'm always the one who's there, like, in everybody's face, like, let's stop doing this, like, don't do that, like, leave this person alone, don't fight, like, it's not worth it. Like, I'm always that person. And it makes my cousin so mad, because she is one of the ones who also says that, you know, I let people get over on me a lot. And I never looked at it like that until, you know, she done said it so many times, and it finally just stuck with me. And that's a reason why I spoke on a lot of things that I did speak on in this video. I did everything